The way we consume and share news today, it is largely rooted in social media outlets. The reason why it's crucial to look at what's being discussed online from the hottest issues of trends for our daily social media. And we're now joined by Erica via Zoom. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning.
All right, let's get started. It was devastating news over the weekend. We bid farewell to a legendary singer. Song Dae-gwan is laid to rest.
That's right. His funeral took place on Sunday morning at Seoul National University Hospital. The late singer was, he's had a career spanning decades, and he was beloved for his iconic songs that captured the hopes and dreams of just everyday people. He was 79. Now, the ceremony yesterday began with a moment of silence and a tribute that was led by actor and singer Kim Sung-hwan, who introduced the singer's life and achievements. Around 70 people attended the funeral, including family members and some of his closest colleagues. The late singer's wife was overcome with grief as she entered the hall. Now, Lee Jae-yeon, who is the president of the Korea Singers Association, delivered a heartfelt eulogy, and she recalled how she and Song Dae-gwan decided on the title of one of his biggest hit songs, 대박자. And she said, every time I heard that song on the air, I felt proud. His humor, warm smile, and beautiful songs will remain with us forever.
There were, as you've said, 70 people in attendance at the funeral, but noticeably fellow singer, lifelong friend, and maybe they had even a friendly rivalry on screen. Tae-jina also overcome with grief, struggled to hold back tears as he paid his own tribute.
That's right. Tae-jina, himself a legend, he said, he was always my mentor. He would tell me just follow my lead, and I did. Over the last 3 days, I haven't eaten anything. Alcohol has been my only sustenance. Knowing he's gone makes my work feel empty. Tae-jina shared with the attendees how even his wife, who suffers from dementia, expressed her shock and grief after she was informed of his passing. Singer Seol-do also took time to reflect on the late singer's legacy. He said this, "Singers like us begin our journey on the stage and often end it there too. Although we feel sorrow, we find comfort knowing he left this world doing what he loved the most."
There was a notably moving moment during the service when fellow singers, including Tae-jina, Seol-do, and Kim Soo-chan, sang the song "해뜰 날 Sunny Days."
That's right. Kim Soo-chan, a much younger artist who was really close to the late singer, he tried to briefly lighten up the somber mood by performing a really heartfelt impression of the late singer, kind of brought smiles through all of the tears. The ceremony concluded with a final farewell from Song's colleagues and family as they escorted his casket out of the hall. Song Dae-gwan's final resting place will be at Utopia Memorial Hall in Anseong, Gyeonggi-do Province.
It seems that because he had a career that was clearly larger than life, there is an outpouring of tributes and condolences on social media, and it comes from really all walks of life, all age groups, not just from the music industry, but everyone who loved his music.
That's right. His career started all the way back in the 60s, in 1967, with the song 인정만은 아저씨, and he rose to fame with hits like 유행가 and 내박자. And he was celebrated for capturing the everyday struggles and hopes of just everyday people, working class people during Korea's rapid economic development. And so many people found comfort in his music and his lyrics.
And what's truly amazing to me is how some of these songs still resonate. Some of these songs are
Oh,
still
yeah.
played. It's recreated by some of the junior singers, and it's still so stylish as ever.
That's right.
May he rest in peace. We
May he rest
honor
in
the
peace.
legacy of the late singer Song Dae-gwan this morning. We now turn our attention to our second buzzword this morning. A 16-year-old Park YounJae became the first Korean male dancer to win the Prix de Lausanne.
Yes. Prix de Lausanne is one of the world's top 5 ballet competitions for young dancers, actually. And the final round of this year's competition took place on Saturday in Lausanne, in Switzerland, where Park YounJae was named the winner. Now, the win marks a milestone for Korean ballet, as the previous Korean champions of the competition were both female dancers, and I'll get to who they were in just a little bit. In his heartfelt acceptance speech, Park Yoon-jae expressed his joy and also his disbelief. He said, "Standing on the stage of Prix de Lausanne has been my dream since I started ballet at 5 years old. To not only reach the finals, but also win such an award is an incredible honor."
I know we've come a long way since Billy Elliot and the lack of male dancers in ballet, but I think the significance of ballerinos winning these competitions is still something to talk about. But a Korean ballerino, that's something else. Now, what did he perform during the final round of the competition?
He performed a classical piece from The Flames of Paris and also a contemporary work titled Rain. And his performances captivated not just the judges, but the audiences as well. In fact, his performances earned him not only the top honor at this year's competition, but also another prize for Best Young Talent Award. So he walked away with 2 prizes.
Okay, so the way you earn bragging rights is you get to know these dancers when they're young.
That's right.
Before they become the prima donnas and the principal dancers of any respected dance company. So let us know, who is Park Yoon-jae?
Yeah, like we said, he's 16 years old. Oh, God, he's got a long career ahead of him, you know.
Look at his legs. We're streaming images. Look at he's got hops.
Yeah, right. He's currently a student at Seoul Arts High School. And his talent has been evident from a really early age. He previously attended the Korean National Institute for the Gifted in Arts, which is part of the Korean National University of Arts. His teacher, An Yoon-hee, has described him as exceptionally gifted, saying, "From the moment I first met him, I could see his immense talent and passion, especially for the Lausanne competition. I am so proud of him."
They recognize talent early on.
Yep.
So the Prix de Lausanne you mentioned is one of the world's top 5 ballet competitions for young dancers.
That's right. The competition is now in its 53rd year. Alongside Varna, Jackson, Moscow, and Paris, it is one of the top 5 prestigious ballet competitions in the world. It is open to dancers aged 15 to 18. And as such, it's often called a gateway for young talents, with winners gaining opportunities to join international ballet companies or schools.
I wonder then over the years, which other Korean dancers have actually excelled at this competition?
Yeah, Kang Soo-jin won the competition, of course. Who else? But, right, Kang Soo-jin won the competition back in 1985. Park Se-eun won the competition in 2007. Other notable names that have won prizes include Seo Hee in 2003, Yoon Seo-jung in 2021, Lee Jun-soo in 2018. This year, besides Park Yoon-jae, another Korean dancer, 17-year-old Kim Bo-kyung from Busan Arts High School, placed 8th in the competition. This year's event attracted 445 applicants from 42 countries around the world. 86 dancers were selected through video screenings to compete at the finals in Lausanne. And of the 86, 20 advanced to the finals, including 4 Korean dancers, including Park YounJae and Kim Bo-kyung, as well as Song Ji-min and An Ji-ho.
I've got to say, 16-year-old Park Yoon-jae, who wins the grand prize at Prix de Lausanne, is amongst some of the greatest names in ballet.
That's right. And these 4 names that is mentioned, not just Park Yoon-jae for winning, these 4 names are names to watch out for.
And where they end up.
Yep.
All right, on to our final buzzword this morning. Modern weddings in Korea are breaking away from these tired old traditions as younger couples are embracing personal touches, doing something that are much more important to the couple, perhaps. If they're into music, that's where they'll definitely spend more of their money. Food, that'll be the focus. If they're all about travel, maybe they'll do a destination wedding.
Yeah, wedding traditions are changing in Korea for sure. I mean, I've noticed, my friends doing things that are not seen as conventional. I'm sure you have too. Yeah. Many couples are breaking away from, the more long-standing customs, and they're choosing to personalize their biggest day, that reflect their preferences and their values.
Can I just say one thing? It's about time.
I agree. I agree.
It's whatever floats your boat. Honestly, if you want to do it the traditional way, all power to you. But do things that highlight you and your special someone as a couple. So what kind of changes are we talking about specifically?
Yeah, so for instance, some brides are choosing not to include the iconic the bouquet toss at their wedding.
I wish I got rid of it. I did not like that.
And you might be wondering why. Well, they want to spare their friends the stress of participating in this ritual, which often involves extra preparation, like making sure their hair and makeup looks perfect. When they receive that bouquet, some brides ask, that the bouquet be dried and returned as a keepsake, and that's another hassle that their friends have to go through. Another popular change is the decision to forego the traditional group photo session. Many couples feel that this process is outdated and delays guests from enjoying their meals.
Not to mention very artificial and uncomfortable.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, so it looks like technology is also reshaping wedding customs. How so?
Some couples are introducing digital kiosks to streamline the collection of cash gifts. So these kiosks allow guests to input their details. They can deposit cash through these machines and also receive meal tickets. And this means that family members no longer have to manage the process where they typically monitor guests dropping off cash-filled envelopes and also distribute meal tickets in exchange.
I don't know if that will sit well with everybody who comes to the wedding.
Especially the older guests, perhaps.
Sure. And maybe they're not used to it. Maybe they don't like kiosks. I don't like kiosks. It definitely takes away the personal interaction, right?
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? Times are changing, so who knows? Right. But, beyond the logistics, even the symbolic elements of weddings are evolving as well. Traditional bridal entrances where the bride walks down the aisle with her dad are being reimagined. For example, some brides are choosing to walk alone. Some couples incorporate both sets of parents to symbolize the union of two families. Things like this.
Attire is really left to the bride. I mean, some are doing without the long veils. I wish someone told me that I could do that.
Some brides are choosing shorter dresses, which are more practical. Some couples are redirecting their wedding budgets to support charitable causes instead of holding a lavish ceremony.
All right. And for conservative Korea, I mean, these are major changes, I must say.
That's right. And again, I mean, just a reflection of changing times and values, I think. And again, it's been a long time coming. And who's to say you can't hold wedding a certain way? It's your wedding, right?
You should be able to define it however you find fit for you and your special someone. Those are the two people who get to dictate what a wedding should look like.
Oh, 100%.
Thank you very much, Erica. I'll speak to you again tomorrow.
Speak to you tomorrow.
If you're listening to our program using the podcast service, just a reminder that we do go live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Korea Standard Time. So tune in and help us make the show more informative by giving us your input. See you bright and early on Good Morning Seoul.